Hi, I'm Danny.
And I'm Evan.
And this week we are reality checking ourselves to talk about all reality news with the host of Reality Checked, Amy Phillips.
Well, hello. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here with you guys.
Oh my God, we are so pumped to have you, Amy. Danny and I are still glowing from the live Cabaret Me experience a few weeks ago in New York City. It was the night before our live show for Virtual Reality, and it just felt like the perfect warm-up. Like it just got our vibe correct right before we interviewed a bunch of Bravo celebrities, because you, of course, do the best Bravo celebrity impressions on the planet.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. I don't know about that, but I do my best. I put my best foot forward, as they say. And it sounds like you guys had a very successful event because it was just hitting the tabloids left and right. We were getting all kinds of snippets. So I was so psyched you guys could make it out. That was awesome of you.
Oh, it was so fun. And I know we caused a little fun mess on our own.
Yeah, but you sure did. You sure did.
But I'm curious too, because obviously you have so many of like our favorite housewives that have been around so long, like in the back of your mind that you can do so fast. Are there any you're currently working on? Like, are you always looking to add more to your repertoire?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes, I am. I'm always looking. And it's interesting because it's kind of like I need to do a Heather Gay, but I don't have anything for you yet. I need to work on that, but I'm working on it. That one is in discovery, as the Grand Dame would say. So I feel like I need to get a Heather Gay down. And then like with Jersey, some of them, I do it a Teresa, okay, all right, because I love Louie. But I mean, like the other gals, and I do Margaret, because you know what you gotta do is get everybody knows Margaret. When you talk to Margaret, you're in good. But you don't want to cross me.
It's so good.
No, you're like one of your times. So good.
But Dolores, like, I don't really have a Dolores. It's a little like generic. So it's like, welcome back, scumbag. But lately I need to get the nuances down because I've been noticing a lot of like, it's egregious. I don't want to talk about it anymore. So I feel like I need to really expand upon that, because when it comes to her and Jen, it's definitely like that girl, this girl, that thing. You're going to talk about that. It's a lot of like objectifying a person and like really disassociating with them. And then also just using the term egregious a lot, which I love. So I need to really nail down a Dolores.
I feel like you could do a great Danielle Cabral. I feel like she would be an easy one to really get into.
Yes. That's a great one, because she's like, oh my God, my husband, he's just gorgeous. Like she's a little, I feel like we all could do Danielle. I feel like it won't take long for us to get her down, right?
Yeah.
And also I feel like it's not taking long for the audience to just love her, because she just is walking in over mozzarella, dressing in all sparkles. I'm like, you're hitting all the right marks for us.
Yes. And honestly, the casting is so on point with Jersey right now with these new gals. I mean, yes. Danielle, I'm like, where has she been? And then the connection with like her her stepmom was married to a Manzo or something like that. We have not yet seen a picture. We saw a picture of a group of them, but I was like, well, can we see who she was married? It was very confusing, but yeah, there's a lot of connections there. And then is it true that she was on some other not housewife show, but another reality show?
True Life, I'm a Staten Island girl.
Okay.
And I think she and her husband had an HGTV special. There's also rumors that Danielle was almost in the final rounds for Jersey Shore casting. So it just kind of seems like this was always meant to be for her.
Wow. Oh, it was always meant to be, because she's just like, she's been born and then she's already blossomed. She's already in like third season housewifery. You know what I mean? Yeah. She's already done.
Amy, we also have to let you know that Danielle could possibly be a great Cabaret Me cameo, because she is a musical theater girly and she sang some Broadway tunes for us live here on the podcast one time, and she's got some pipes on her.
Thank you for that hot tip. Gonna have to follow up. Gonna have to give her a follow. If I'm not following her already, I probably already am.
You guys could duet Take Me or Leave Me from Rent, if that's your vibe, because that's the song she really liked to sing.
Oh, she did? Okay, good. I'll make it work. Whatever she wants to do.
She's a Rent girly.
I'm glad we're talking about your Cabaret Me, which was so fun, because we do need to talk about some cabaret news going on in the Bravo world. Because Amy,
I feel like this pop culture news moment was made specifically for you, Amy. And I feel like there's actually a lot of material here to work with.
Some of blue chunks, and I just happened to land on some of my Giovanni. Okay, it's all right. I'm just gonna get in front of it and just laugh it off.
I thought it was a joke. I really did.
And then all the like video footage, like the receipts we keep receiving from the blowing chunks to Dorinda allegedly acting, or we can't, she was acting a little Dorinda-y at the show. Like it's
Bravo
just
fans
wild.
were like the Blair Witch Project with like their GoPros out at this cabaret show because it was crazy how much
footage of the actual throwing up.
Yes,
Queens of Bravo Plus, their new Insta account. Yes, they have it.
They have a Plus account?
Well, they got deleted, I think, so they have to make a new one.
Oh my God. Are you serious? Why would that happen?
I don't know.
I think apparently the fan got overexcited and laughed so hard that chunks came forth. And I think that Luann was really kind of pleasantly like surprised and delighted. She was like, wow. I think
she was.
Yeah. Good for her. Also, I was pleasantly surprised and delighted that Luann was in the audience the night of the Cabaret Me show that Danny and I went to. Yes. And I didn't realize that was the first time she had seen you perform live, because your show is so rooted in the Luann of it all. I mean, that's how you open
absolutely the show. Yes, that's absolutely right. And because she was there, and it was only the second time I've done the show, so it makes sense that she's not seen it. I was shocked that she was there, and in tow she brought Candace Bushnell, which I was floored about. I had texted her because she was on my show promoting her cabaret. And I had explained to her, I have a cabaret, it's very inspired by you. I would love for you to come see it at some point. She's like, yeah, I'd love to see it, darling. And I was like, she'll probably never come. So after the show, she was like, just text me. You've got my number, right? So I texted her, told her when it was, and she wasn't sure if she was going to be in town. Of course, as a cabaret and star that she is, she's everywhere. And so I texted her the morning of, and I was like, it's tonight if you want to come, and she was like, I'm going to come. I'm going to bring Candace Bushnell. And I was like, I was dying. Yes. So, but talk about support,
supporting other women.
So incredible, because so many housewives, they talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. And she showed up. She showed up. You got to show up in life. And she showed up.
I love that. Would you want Dorinda to show up at the next one if it could end? Of
course.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. I would love it if she could come. I did tell her, I think she was sent a clip of my number, my Dorinda number. She was sent a clip, and she did text me and said like, LOL. And I was like, you got to come to the show if you can. But I don't know if that's going to happen, but it would be great if she could. It'd be amazing.
I feel it's hard because sometimes she's always in the Berkshires, and like you never know where in the world is Dorinda Medley.
That's right.
She got escorted out of Luann's show. She said she didn't get escorted, that she left on her own accord. But I feel like
this same show where someone vomited.
Yeah.
Okay, see, I didn't know about that.
So much.
Like happened. Andrew Dice Clay was there with Leah McSweeney, or there was a photo together there.
Are you kidding me?
Amy,
it all happened.
1-2 hour span.
What? Where was this? What venue?
Where was it, Danny? Do you know?
Was it Feinstein or 54 Below?
I think it was. I think that's where she.
Right. That's where she does her show in New York. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So Dorinda was dancing half of the time of her life, but then some footage shows her getting escorted out and then kind of yelling at people. And some of the staff said that we don't like. Why is she was like, I'm not getting paid to be here, and the staff is like, why are we getting paid to be yelled at by you? She since went on Instagram Live and said, I was waiting for my car. Someone was calling me.
Oh my God. I cannot believe this. I did not realize this was a layered evening at the cabaret. I mean, like you said, you introduced us as we have cabaret news. I didn't know this was going to go beyond just the vomiting. I thought it was going to stop at that.
That was Act 1.
That was.
Wow, and it's such a shame that legacy cameras aren't up to capture any of this. I mean, this could be 3 episodes.
Oh, my heart just broke a little inside.
Yeah.
I feel I'm in mourning. I'm going to have to turn off my ring light for a second. Take a minute. Wow. When you put it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I know.
All right. I'm back.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot to take in. Welcome back. Well, I mean, besides the cabaret of it all, there's like obviously so much Bravo stuff going on. How are you keeping up with the Jersey drama? Because did you see over this weekend with Gia and Joey and Melissa, but not Melissa, on her Instagram account, getting into it with the Joe and Joe reunion?
What? I didn't see it. I obviously took a second this weekend. First of all, okay, let me just be transparent with your listeners and say that my Instagram was not refreshing for the last 4 days. So like I was stuck on an Us Weekly post from the Super Bowl and it would not refresh. I reported it to Instagram, but I could not scroll through Instagram for 4 days. So all that was in my feed were suggested posts, which guess what? Spoiler alert, I love cats. So it was all cat videos, no joke. Only suggested posts of all cat videos. So I could not get into my Instagram. So I just took advantage of this long weekend and I just said, I am going to take a break from, I guess, you know, the news of what's happening, which has never really happened before, because even over like the holidays, I'm constantly scrolling. So I legit had no idea about the secondary cabaret news and this what happened with Gia and what. Okay.
Oh my God. So let's catch you up. So
Yeah.
basically the Gorgas were vacationing in the Bahamas where Joe Judice, Juicy Joe, spends a lot of time now after he was deported to Italy. I think he might live in the Bahamas now. I'm not like completely.
Yes.
He does, right?
He does,
okay.
yeah.
So Gorga and Judice ran into each other and they hugged each other and it was a moment. And then Joe posted it on his Instagram saying like, wow, like what a moment. We have so much history. Then Gia chimed in the comment section saying like, wow, this is comical coming from someone who used to talk so much crap about my dad, et cetera, et cetera. Then Melissa commented back. Then that comment was deleted, but then Uncle Joe commented back like, get the hate out of your heart. It was a lot.
It was a mess.
Theo Joe.
Melissa was like, oh, that was Joe commenting from my account. He didn't realize it was my account. It since she did that.
Oh, she did that. Oh, the mozzarella is just stretching over the weekend. Oh, baby. Gia has entered the chat for life. She's in. She's not going to stop.
No,
are you loving Gia has been so activated recently? Are you thinking you're like, okay, it's time. She's been born for, like she literally was born for this.
I'm okay with it. I think that, you know, she's going to have her mom's back and I like that for their family, because obviously Teresa does not feel supported by any of her family. So if Gia can be that strength for her, I'm happy about that. And I like a united front in a family. So I have no problem with it.
I like that. Gia is a rock. She has been like, she is one of those, like, she's emotionally 44 too. I feel like she has been through so much and she's so like, she's like studying law and doing all this stuff. Like she really is like, no, I'm putting my feet down.
Well, it is interesting to see her journey and to see what informs us in our lives and what we end up doing with our lives and how our passions drive us and how hers is so deeply rooted in the pain that she experienced when her father went away. And obviously her mother, but when her father went away and then when he was, you know, obviously he had to leave the country. And that is now her plight, is that she wants to make right what went wrong for her father. And by doing that, she's studying law and immigration law, and she wants to try and fix what was broken. So it is wild to see this journey, to see her trying to repair really the trauma of her past. And it's all unfolding before our eyes.
You just also wrote the memoir title that she's going to write, The Trauma of My Past. Like I'm buying that right now from her.
No, that was beautifully said, Amy. But I am curious to know, as someone who obviously appreciates Teresa and appreciates Gia as she steps into her new queendom, do you also appreciate the Gorgas? Do you feel Team Gorga or Team Teresa in any way? Do you like, where do you lie there?
Well, when I was on Dancing with the Stars, I recognize it takes two to tango.
So as a viewer, you know, you take away the Melissa, you don't have as much of the drama with Teresa. So I have to acknowledge Melissa and Joe's role in all of this, that they are a gift. I think that there's two sides to every story. But I lean more towards Teresa than I do Melissa. Sometimes I lean more towards Joe than I do Teresa.
Oh.
But when I go back to the very beginning, I always say that I do blame Melissa for never owning up to the fact that she got on the show in a dirty way. I think if she would have owned that from the get-go, or even now, like say tomorrow she decides, all right, fine, I'll admit we tried to get on the show and it was backhanded. We went around you. We didn't even talk to you about it. And we came on and it was like you sort of got bamboozled. I would have a lot more respect for Melissa if she would own up to that, but she never did. And Teresa's always going to hold on to that. Always. Now, Teresa's got a lot to answer for too. But the seed is really the way that Melissa got on the show, and it all stems and grows from there. And then like it's gotten out of control and they're both at fault for a lot of stuff. But I have to say, I usually always lean more towards Teresa. How are you guys feeling?
Well, Danny and I, we love our Melissa so much. She did the live Valentine's Day show with Joe. So I don't know if I am team Melissa or team Teresa. I think that one without the other, it's like how
agree.
Can they exist without, like, you know what, like they kind of like need each other. I as a viewer, I as a fan, I need them together on the show.
Yeah, it's like Fleetwood Mac. They were so all fighting, hating each other, chaotic, loving, everything like that, but the best album. So, you know, there is some of that. And if I had to pick teams, I'd probably be Rosie. Really,
it's really hard to pick a team because as people who, you know, we try to be, we don't want to be necessarily biased because we want to appreciate it as a whole. So it is difficult to be like, you know, I'm a tree hugger, but she has really sacrificed a lot of her life for reality television. She's gone through a lot, and really if you do compare the two, you know, Teresa wins out in terms of like what she's brought to the show. However, at the end of the day, she should have asked Melissa to be her bridesmaid. I think that was a bad choice on her. But Melissa didn't prove that she was loyal to her. So I kind of get why she didn't ask her, but she should have done it for her brother, Joe, and not for Melissa. And that's where I stand on that. So
that's the hard thing. You can see where they both come from. And I think it's because like, they're so like such like fully fledged themselves. And I'm like, oh, I think they just don't mix. And it's also the hard thing too, where it's like, so many people have family or in-laws where you're just like Christmas, Easter, or whatever, Thanksgiving, and I don't gotta see them. Cut to filming a show together. But I think that's also why they are relatable too, because everyone's kind of like, oh, I can't stand people and it's hard to watch. But I like some people are getting tired of the drama. I think it's just like it's part of the Jersey show. So I kind of could keep on watching it. Yeah.
Me too. I'm not bored of it. I don't want either one to leave. You know,
no, and like I think the ratings just came in and they were like groundbreaking, history making ratings for the premiere. So like obviously this like when Melissa and Teresa are fighting, that's what Jersey's about. It
is. And by the way, I like Louis for Teresa. It's like the taming of the shrew. I mean, it literally is like Louis is just like Teresa. He's kind of he is trying to help her. You see her kind of changing, and I really like this. It's very interesting to watch.
On the episode this week,
to watch.
She is meditating and journaling out loud. So that's a side of her we don't
out loud. I'm gonna love that. I'm gonna love to see that.
Have you gotten any feedback from Teresa about your Teresa impression? I would love for her to see the wedding bit you do in your cabaret.
I have not. I don't. You know, I have interviewed her several times, and she doesn't typically remember who I am, which I kind of like. Because, you know, I think sometimes like with my impressions, they're not always, I try to just like make it a celebration. Sometimes I feel like I don't want her to be offended by my impression, you know? So it's kind of maybe sometimes better she doesn't see it. But I don't know if she would be offended. I don't know. I would like her to appreciate it, but I just kind of sit back and let life happen. I don't like tag her in my stuff. I don't put it in front of her all the time. I just let it be, you know?
I hope the Housewives all like, because it's like like you said, you're celebrating them and it's funny and you're never going to impersonate a flop. So you're like, you're not taking notes for someone who's like, we're going to be gone next season. Let me not.
That's a really good point. I don't, you know, you can tell by looking at my repertoire, the ones that I haven't done an impression of. It kind of speaks for itself.
Well, because we are on a podcast, so we have to break some podcast news. Did you see? Well, you maybe didn't see this because you've just been looking at
my cat feed. Yeah.
But did you see that the reasonably shady ladies, Giselle and Robin from Potomac, are in hot water with Eminem?
Oh my God. I really missed a lot of news. I feel so embarrassed. I feel so embarrassed because typically I'm really on the edge of it. I swear, you guys, if you listen to Reality Checked, news and feuds is what I cover.
No, I stay up to date on stuff from Reality Check because your news and feuds are so good. Yes.
Thank you. Well, that's on account of all my scrolling. But apparently over this President's Day, and it was on the heels of my birthday, I just took some time for myself. What is going on?
So basically, the reasonably shady ladies are kind of in a court fight with Eminem because he thinks that reasonably shady is too close to Slim Shady or Shady Enterprises. And so he wants to prevent them from trademarking merch with reasonably shady because it might impact his shady brand.
Oh my God.
I never saw this one coming, but I just loved Eminem and Giselle and Robin in a headline.
Yeah, the fact that Eminem now knows about Real Houses of Potomac and is like, I have
Does he? Or is it his lawyer? I mean, I had to turn my light off because I'm from Detroit and I've been an Eminem fan for a very long time. And this is extremely disheartening to me because I don't see the connection. I absolutely don't. And I think this is a silly, silly, silly lawsuit. And I'm very sad right now. Wow.
You know who I feel is excited though? Giselle, because this is hysterical headlines. And now they have next. They're like, we don't have to talk about the reunion at our next recording.
You're right. Actually, they're like, you know what? We'll talk about the Eminem lawsuit on our Patreon.
Wait, Amy, what do you think about the Patreon of it all and Robin? Do you think that Robin deserves to come back to the show? Like, what are your thoughts around that?
Okay. Well, I thought on the heels of the reunion, her explaining when she spoke to Mia, when she was called out by Giselle about embezzlement with her company. And Mia was like, well, I don't know why I would go public with this if I was stealing money, if we were stealing money from the company. And Giselle said, to get ahead of it. And Robin said, Housewives 101. And I said, honey, you didn't take that class, okay? Because Housewives 101 would tell you, get in front of it, be transparent, put it out there. And you literally did everything but that. So you can just retract your Housewives 101 statement right now. So I call bullshit on that. And I found myself feeling very resentful towards her, calling out Mia when she didn't do that. So I think that just like when any other city withholds information, I get pissed off. They've done it in other cities. Robin is not the only one. She's not the one to pave that path. She's just another housewife that did it. And so, no, I don't like that at all. The fact that they waited and they talked about it on their podcast, and they put it behind a paywall. I don't have a problem with Patreon and paywalls. I think that's great. I just think that it should have been brought up on the show. So whether it was on her subscribe or whether it was on Patreon, it's kind of like 6 of one, half dozen of the other. I just kind of resent the fact that it just wasn't on the show. I love that they had to hold her feet to the fire after the fact. And they were like, well, you're on Watch What Happens Live. So we're going to make this, we're going to pop this on the tail end of the reunion. So that'll be interesting to see that. At least she's going to have to speak to it. Do I feel like she can come back? Absolutely. Like I said, she's not the only housewife that has buried information and then kind of gotten called out for it, but now she's gotten called out for it. And I think if she's willing to put herself out there now and kind of like embrace the fact that she buried it and now is willing to go there, then I would be absolutely fine with watching that and hearing her talk about it. How do you guys feel?
Well, that's kind of the thing I'm thinking. She sort of set herself up to now being the most talked about Potomac woman with all this drama. And then next season, I feel it's going to all focus on this so much. Her and now being married to Juan, put some other things to the side and kind of just has she sort of, I was like, oh, she 100%. I never had a thought that like, oh, maybe she won't be coming back next season, but I feel she so much secured herself to
She
have like
has,
the
yeah.
storyline.
Because now it's time to pay the piper, right?
Yeah, there's gonna have to be
Right.
some new embellished hats behind Patreon of her like making merch on this now. But I feel Karen is not gonna let her up anymore in this. Like they already are feuding. It's gonna be such a mess. And now she lost Candace as like a semi-friend at the reunion too. And Chris Bassett went after her. So it's gonna be a rough season for her. But
Good
she's
point.
never gonna be called boring again, which I think
You know what? You're right.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, I agree with that, Danny. I agree with everything that you said, Amy. I think the only thing that I do think about is like, she said that she didn't bring it up because no one else did. And so I think if no one brings up your husband's alleged infidelity, are you just gonna like announce it? Like, I don't know, but it is frustrating. I do think that is part of Housewives 101 is just figuring out a natural way to bring it up. So I don't know.
If you do think about that, it's kind of like when Karen brought up the woman in DC. Wait, no.
Georgetown.
Georgetown. Thank you. And Robin was like, oh shit. Oh, phew, wrong woman.
You like saw
woman.
it.
So she was like, no, don't know about that. Know about this other stuff. Don't know about that. And so, so it's kind of like, well, was that the point where she was supposed to say, well, it's not that one, but there was another one. I mean, yes, can you blame her for wanting to hide it? No, but at the same time, she could have had a one-on-one with Giselle in a way that was like, Giselle would have set her up, teed her up the way that Giselle tees her up every time. You know what I mean? On that podcast, it was like sickening, but what are you going to do? That's her ride or die, and they have to be that way for each other. But it is a weird situation for Giselle because sometimes I think Giselle in this situation has had to co-sign everything that all the bad choices Robin has made this past season, when that puts Giselle in a bad light because Giselle is there as the soothsayer to call people out. And I mean, she literally said embezzlement to Mia on the reunion. And I was like, oh, I mean, my face did the same thing that Karen's did. I was like, oh my God, you just said embezzlement.
Her friend.
You, her friend.
I know, so wild. Giselle really is like another producer on that show.
Truly.
Yes. And well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm excited to see the rest of Potomac going down, but we also have to talk about one last show before we have to let you go on your way to do reality check on RadioAndy. Vanderpump Rules. Me and Evan accidentally, I think, started some drama this weekend that you might have missed while you're looking at cats.
Okay.
Because we talked to Sheena.
Okay, shenanigans. Yes, I love shenanigans.
Love
shenanigans. And she told us that her and Katie had a conversation that Katie was like, go for it, about Raquel and Tom. Katie said that was a drunken conversation that was not proven to be true, and then released some text messages countering that claim. Where do you stand on the Vanderpump drama of everything?
I think that Bubba should have not dated within the group, but of course dated within the group because it's Vanderpump Rules and you have to date within the group. This is where, we just want to rip our hair out because you can have no loyalty because obviously it makes great drama, but it breaks my heart for Katie because if I was in her shoes, I would be so pissed. I'd be so pissed. I absolutely think Tom is a scumbag. Welcome back, scumbag, for keeping it in the circle and dating Raquel. No, absolutely not. And Raquel, go check yourself because not cool. Katie, maybe she wasn't the friendliest to you, but still, I mean, Raquel knows how to stay on a show. So we'll congratulate her on that. And I am very excited to go to Schwartz and Sandy's. I am very I talked about this on my show a little bit and we won't get too into it, but I will say it makes me really yearn watching them open this bar. It makes me yearn for a female owned bar that would come out of Vanderpump Rules instead of another male bar. I just feel like there should be more women empowerment there with Lisa Vanderpump being at the head of this, that it should feed and filter into the ladies on the show. And that is an empty space, I feel, for that brand. And I do like the idea that Ariana and Katie will potentially be doing something together. hate the name. I hate the name of their sandwich shop.
There's something about it.
It's just terrible. The worst possible name. But like, I just feel like there should be other business endeavors where it's female owned and operated, and Lisa Vanderpump should be helping them lead that way. But unfortunately, it's not that way at this point, but hopefully it will in the future. But I definitely want to go to Schwartz and Sandy's. Looks awesome.
That's such a true
It's
point.
really cute. I will say Schwartz and Sandy's is very
Is it
cute.
great? Yeah, you guys were there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun time, but I think that's a really good point. I would love for Sheena to open a bar.
Oh, love
It
for
would be
shenanigans.
shenanigans.
There we
Like,
go.
Come on.
One also, I feel like, I mean, because Lala has her office, she could make it a coffee shop or something, or like a
Her
non-alcoholic,
office.
or like I feel like Lala could just be serving mocktails, roasting people, and making them
Give
cry.
them mocktails. Give them mocktails.
mocktails.
Lala tails. Yes.
But it is funny your point, because Schwartz and Sandy, they even I think said it on last week's episode. Their business partner was like, these guys don't know what they're doing.
Wow.
So,
That was so eye-opening.
what would you do? Could you see? Because you said Raquel knows how to stay on a show. Do you think you could see Raquel opening up a little bistro?
No. Mm-mm. She has no experience. Absolutely not. She's too busy mourning the loss of her pageant years. And I mean, look.
Her?
I think I
It
almost
happens
shed
to
a
the
tear.
best of us.
There was
But yeah,
nothing sadder than watching Raquel break down in front of Peter over her dead pageant career. Like,
No, Evan
it was-
cried. I laughed. That just sums up. When she was like, Donald Trump said I'm too old, I was like, is this what?
Donald
on?
Trump. That was funny. I did feel sad for her when she cries. I don't like to see anybody cries. Of course, I
No.
felt bad, but like,
No.
and I thought Peter was really sweet. But then she like went up to him at the bar and was like,
I don't want to put the date anymore because I don't want to.
and I mean, I was just like, okay, poor Peter, you know. And then Lisa coming up and be like, it's the Me Too movement. I'm like, Lisa, it's fucking, that happened 8 years ago. Okay, great that you want to get on board now, but like, you know what? Peter's not the guy. Peter's
No.
not going to be canceled. All right. He's fine. Worry about James. I don't know, but like,
I love how she said that when it's like, your show is based on all of your employees.
right.
Get
having
it
sex.
down.
Yeah.
I know. And then all of it's the Me Too movement. I was dying. It's so funny. But I mean, I was shocked when Lisa Vanderpump was talking to Lala and really confronting her and really like making her step to some answers. What did you guys think about that? Wow.
That's what I thought. I was like, wow, I don't think Lala expected that. And it kind of made me be like, oh, I think Lisa's missing being on Beverly Hills. Cause like, why are you just yelling at someone half your age about their divorce? Like, what's going on here?
And it seemed like Lala was like almost stepping into her housewife moment too, because she wasn't like bowing at Lisa's feet. She was like hitting back at her, being like, I didn't know. I was blindsided. Like I it felt like I was watching Beverly Hills Housewives.
You're right. That
Again.
was. Yes.
Yeah, but good for Lala for sticking up for herself and
Mhm.
speaking her truth, and also like good for Lisa for pointing
Asking
out-
what we want to know,
Right.
asking what the fans want to know. And I think that's her being, you know, producery in a way. Like, look, no one else is going to ask you this. I have to. This is my show and you need to answer, and you probably won't answer it to anyone else. But you'll have to answer it to me, darling.
God bless.
I mean, I love that also Lisa is still finding ways to involve herself in these people's lives when only like 20% of them actually work for her.
Right.
So that was a nice moment to see.
I need to see Charlie. Where's my girl Charlie been?
I know. I want to
I
see her,
know,
and
I wanna
I need
see
an update about the
Charlie.
PB&Js and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, I would love that. I like Charlie.
I need Charlie. I need Peter to find love or something, or peace. I don't know which one he'll
Yeah,
get first.
he
but
seems
something.
like a nice guy.
He's so nice. And if you ever, I'm sure you've eaten at the Lisa Vanderpump establishments, like Peter
Yes.
is always there and he
Yeah.
is ready to take care of you. Like
He is.
always. I
Oh,
love that man.
man.
Honestly, like if I wasn't engaged,
Oh,
I'd hit Peter up.
Okay.
I don't know if he wants to hear
With-
from me, but I'm no
With
Raquel.
ponytail? Sans ponytail or without?
Ooh.
What it with or without?
Oh, do you know what? I kind of like Peter. I do like the ponytail, but I also kind of like the part where it's kind of like Lord Farquaad meets that character from who's the character on Arthur? Is it DW? No, Francine. Kind of looks like Francine from Arthur.
Okay.
Remember? Okay.
I know you said you like him. I think you're dragging him to hell with a visual that me and Amy don't remember from our
Wait, no, you guys. Also, do you know who Peter reminds me of? He reminds me of Bachelor Ben from years and years ago. Remember Bachelor Ben had the one who dated Courtney Robertson, the like kind of crazy villain. Are we Bachelor
Wow.
people? No. Okay,
These
I feel
are
like
some deep cuts that
I'm
appreciate
gonna
the
send you
details
guys
on.
photos.
Yeah,
Yes.
I need photos
I
of
need
the
side by
last 2 minutes.
sides. Okay.
Yeah.
The last 2 minutes.
That's the last 5 years, the last 2 minutes. It's off Broadway. Me and Peter are in it.
Yes.
But I do love how he's always stressed. He's always looking stressed and
He
like
does.
worried.
He
and it
does.
gets-
Yeah.
Because he's worried about taking care of you.
He's
Damn.
putting himself second, you guys.
Yeah.
And I
yeah.
think Peter needs to start
Maybe.
putting himself first. I would like a little bit of you know, a zhuzh. I feel like there's something to be done with the hair.
Okay.
Okay.
He's gonna enter a new era, and I think that you are here to herald him into that era, Amy.
Harold him. Yeah.
Yes.
Harold.
Well, Amy, this was so much fun talking with you. I'm so
Likewise.
glad we got to catch you up about some stuff you missed. I
know,
hope your
I'm
Instagram is now
so
fixed.
Sorry.
Oh my God. It was so fun. Because we
It
were
is fixed.
okay,
So,
good.
I'll be catching up after this show.
Well, because
Yeah,
we literally
get to scrolling.
when we were like, okay, Amy's coming on. There's so much cabaret news. This is heaven. Where is your next cabaret meet kicking off to?
Oh, I'm going to be in Boca Raton on March 23rd at the studio at Meisner Park. I'm so excited. I have amazing guests: Kate Chastain, Captain Sandy, Jill Zarin, and Marisol Patton.
Oh my God. I'm gonna fly to
I
Boca
know.
Raton. That sounds amazing.
That's a
So
dream.
excited. It really
That
is.
really is a dream. Jeez. Oh my God. And for Sandy to see your whole Sandy song. Oh,
I know.
I'm getting chills.
I wonder how it's going to go over. I'm excited, but you can get tickets if you go to my Instagram, meet Amy Phillips. Link in bio will take you there.
Yay. And also, if you guys listen to Sirius, you should check out Reality Checked every day. I listen to it every day.
It's
It's
so
Thank
good.
you.
It's so fun. You're just like get the news so well, and like your recaps and voices. It's literally it's like watching. It's a variety show. It's so good.
Thank you. I love you guys. And I'm so, I'm obsessed with you. So excited about your podcast and all your events. You guys are really bringing it. So thanks for bringing me into your world. Thanks for bringing me into
Always.
your world.